Russia loses 2 more commanders as raging Putin orders brutal purge over Ukraine war disaster after battle plans leaked. 2 more of Vladimir Putin's top commanders have died in Ukraine as the death toll continues to mount in Russia's disastrous invasion. Kremlin officials are reported to have launched a purge of those they believe responsible for the bloody catastrophe that has seen up to 15,300 Russian soldiers killed in Ukraine. Major Dmitry Toptun was a tank commander blown up in Izyum near Kharkiv. Twitter. Major Alexey Osokin is one of many Russian paratroopers killed in Ukraine. Twitter. Major Dmitry Toptun, who led a motorized battalion, was reported to have been blown up when his armored vehicle was hit by an anti-tank missile while fighting in Izyum, near Kharkiv. And elsewhere, paratrooper commander Major Alexey Osokin is also reported to have been killed during the fighting in Ukraine. The duo add to the death toll as it is estimated some 17 of Putin's senior commanders have died since Putin invaded last month. Meanwhile, 3 Spetsnaz special forces commandos, including one dubbed Agent Stalin after the vicious Soviet leader, were liquidated during the battle for Mariupol. Putin had expected to roll over Ukraine in a matter of days, but the war has ended up seeing his forces bogged down for almost a month with little progress being made. Kyiv still stands and Ukrainian forces are reported to actually be pushing back in certain areas, retaking areas previously lost to the Russians. Moscow's forces appear to have pushed into Ukraine while under-equipped, undersupplied and undertrained, and have found themselves being broken against the resistance. Ukraine is now littered with the burned-out wrecks of Russian tanks and armored vehicles, the charred shells of crashed aircraft, and the dead bodies of Russian soldiers, many of who were teenage conscripts. Putin's cronies have now reportedly launched a vicious witch hunt to root out the guilty men behind the failures in Ukraine. Sources claim the mad tyrant is incandescent that the US and Britain have received leaks of his military plans which have been passed on to the Ukrainians. It is believed this alleged leak is seen in part as the reason why top generals and his most elite forces have been targeted so effectively and picked off. The war continues, with intense fighting particularly focused on the city of Mariupol, which has been decimated by an ongoing barrage by Russian artillery and warships. Ukraine continues to hold the Russians back however, with reports Moscow lost 3 members of the top special forces Spetsnaz. The 3 were named as Captain Konstantin Droshkov, 33, Islam Abduragimov, 19 and Shamil Seldarov, age not specified. Documents linked to the men were found in a captured Tiger armored vehicle. The captain is believed to have used the pseudonym Konstantin Jugashvili. Jugashvili was the real family name of the Soviet Union's brutal wartime leader, Joseph Stalin. And amid these mounting losses, anti-war sentiment is growing in Russia, with more than 15,000 protesters arrested in a brutal crackdown. He is incandescent that US and UK intelligence appear to know the Russian army's next moves all the time. Source. Putin is reported to even growing wary of his close ally and vacation friend Sergei Shoigu, Russia's defense minister, in overall charge of the bloody military operation. His public appearances have been significantly curtailed in the past week, while his younger daughter Ksenia, 31, was seen posing in Ukrainian colors of blue and yellow. Sources say Putin has been dismissive in private of longtime ally Alexander Bortnikov, FSB security service head, and started snapping in meetings at Valery Gerasimov, chief of the Russian General Staff. Another target of Putin's fury is Igor Kostyukov, deputy chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, who may face imminent removal as part of a wider purge. A charred Russian tank lays destroyed on the roadside. AFP. Pro-Russian troops are seen atop of tanks on the outskirts of the besieged city Mariupol. Reuters. Yet Putin is reportedly more concerned with losses of military hardware, for which he has blamed Gerasimov, than more battlefield casualties. He is incandescent that US and UK intelligence appear to know the Russian army's next moves all the time, starting with predicting the invasion before he was ready to acknowledge it, said one source. The loss of half a dozen generals is seen as linked to these real-time leaks of his military operation movements. Russian security expert Andrei Soldatov said military counterintelligence is probing an FSB security service department. He also believes Putin in blaming his underlings for the lack of popular support in Ukraine for the Russian troops, as if locals were expected to cheer the arrival of the invaders. The climate of fear means that intelligence on the scale of Ukraine's likely resistance to Russian invaders was hidden from Putin. Russia's slain commanders. Putin's top brass killed since the invasion of Ukraine, Major Dmitry Toptun, Lieutenant General Andrei Mordvichev,